your pool tight and tense, this is the tournament for you.
He's missed it by a mile. We are seeing all kinds of mistakes when the pressure is on.
The quarterfinals beckon. There's the 9 going in. Bingo.
This is turning into a classic.
You cannot write that script. What a comeback.
Hello, it's the quarter-final stage in the World Cup of Pool from the Morningside Arena in Leicester. Our first quarter-final saw the reigning champions China dumped out 9-5 by the Netherlands. Today we'll see who they'll face in the semi-final as the Philippines take on Canada. We join the match at the start of Rack 1, commentary from Carl Boyce and Jeremy Jones.
And you'll see an occasional shot. Some little subtle shots would spin. He'll change to right-handed, or if he really needs a lot of power, somewhat like a jump shot, some type of elevated shots where he needs to really get some power on the cue ball, he'll go back to the right hand. This is one here that Alex, a lot of times in normal situations, he may bank at this half a pocket on the 2 by the 8 and draw the cue ball for position on the 3. Wouldn't be the worst of plays here, but it's a lot of the guys have been playing a little tighter at times. He's got a bit of a two-way. He could cross corner this bank and try and bring the cue ball behind the 3, 7, and 8 for position on the 3 if he makes the 2, and safety if not, like so. And he's made it.
That's the vision of the Lion, Alex Pagulayan. Very good shot maker, is Alex.
And I was messaging with Alex yesterday after their match and toying around with him and told them they got to shore up a few things, and I think they know that they didn't play their best pool and probably a little bit of an escape yesterday in that match, considering normally you struggle on the break like that, you make a few mistakes in that race to 7 and you're going home, but a little bit of 9 lives there for Team Canada, and they're looking to respond with a really nice effort today.
As long as it's not straight, it's good. As long as it's not. Side, corner, good, right?
Now you look for the 7 all the way up by the 8 in the corner, I would think. That's got to go. He's got the side pocket as well, but we've seen some miss in the sides. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm just wondering if he did try and get him into position for the top, but nonetheless, this is a little tester. I mean, the pros should still make this, of course, but as Jeremy said, we've seen a few rattle. I tell you what, since he swapped over to his left hand, he seems to just hit the ball a bit better. I'm convinced he does.
Well, it's hard to believe, but he is. I saw him play opposite-handed years ago, and it's definitely not as good as it is now. But you try to have the same type of look when you switch hands. Definitely don't think about many switching full time, but an easy 9-ball. But here to get our match started. But it's eerily similar to his right-handed style, correct?
Yeah, I just think we need to put this into perspective. John Morra played professional pool for many years with his right hand. He stopped playing for a year and come back, and now he plays left-handed. It is unbelievable.
Rack 2 was a lengthy battle, with neither side gaining the advantage for over 11 minutes before Canada wrapped up the game for an early 2-0 lead. So a great start for Canada. On to the third. Could they continue where they left off in the opening 2 racks?
It seems Canada have got the breakdown at the moment, but I do believe we'll be playing safe. I mean, you could cut this ball in, but it doesn't look like there's any real value, so
And he's over the 9 a little bit. So do you bank this up and try and run the cue ball into the 7, trying to use the 5 as a snooker? Just because you're a little elevated and you don't want to spin it, maybe.
Yeah, and I think he's trying to get the 2 ball to miss the 6. So watch the 2 ball go in between. Kind of. Well, he's played it a little bit softer, so that's fine.
Yeah, as long as you get the 2 past the side to where the jump isn't very, very available for the Team Philippines. Now he's going at the jump. He's looking at it immediately.
So he's hit the jump shot full, and he's played this, Jeremy. This is a wonderful effort. He's going to be unlucky if he's left the pot in angle here.
And if it was left-handed John Morra, we may see the jump cue, but definitely Alex can't reach that. So he's looking at now using the bridge to jump this ball. We saw that. Who was that made the double bridge?
Petrone.
Who's that?
Fabio Petrone.
Oh, yeah, Fabio. I should have known that.
Yeah, shot of the tournament so far.
Really.
As well. Maybe he's going to play this like bit of a dart. Oh, no, there you go. Here we see.
Now, the one thing he could do here, instead of trying to make it, he could shoot the 2 and bank it around. And that's a little safer play rather than trying to make. Oh, my.
Foul. Illegal
Well, I think he
contact.
needs to go and move to Italy for a few months and get some coaching off Fabio.
Start
And
the
it
clock,
sounded
please.
like it slid off the tip. There wasn't solid contact, and just cue ball slid right off the tip. So pretty clever here with ball in hand. Philippines are going to play a 2-7 combination, I believe, anyways. Yeah, and the only reason they did that is to open up the 5 for later in the rack. You'll notice the 4 way down table, so it would have been pretty difficult to get short side position on the 5. Normally you wouldn't shoot too many combinations with ball in hand unless it's a game winner. Oh, that's gone a little fast too. He's got to hope that slows down a bit. If it gets a little on the wrong side, could make things difficult.
Yeah, it's just held up in time, so Biado can just play a little soft shot here. And doesn't need to go crazy with the cue ball here. Just make sure you put you through.
Now, how many times did you play in this World Cup of Pool, Carl?
That's a good question. I'm going to say...
Well, maybe the better question is, did you have any other partner besides Darren?
I did once. Daryl Peach. We had an absolute nightmare. We lost to France in the first round. Just don't think we gelled as a partnership, and or maybe we didn't work hard enough before the event and figure some things out. I don't know. But we had a nightmare.
Well, the reason why I was asking, I was just thinking about both these teams here. Is the one thing I think you have to think about is the left-handed, right-handed situation for position play. Uh-oh. Ooh, man. Wasn't the cleanest of hits there by Jeffrey DeLuna, but that's one thing that I would have to be very conscious of if I was playing with a lefty.
Unless you're playing with John Morra, who can just keep switching.
Right, right. Well, it should be a rule, only so many switches a game or something.
Yeah, that's a good idea. So the Philippines are going to be off the board here. Philippines are off the board, and they're back in this little early round.
Welcome back to the second quarter-final of the World Cup of Pool, where Canada lead the 3-time champions, the Philippines, by 2 racks to 1. The Philippines' bad start to the quarter-final continued as the Canadians took full advantage to restore their 2-rack lead. Canada then put clear daylight ahead of their opponents, extending their lead to 3 in this race to 9. So rack 6 was important for the Philippines. Could they mount a comeback? commentary from Carl Boyes and Jeremy Jones.
I'll tell you, that's not going to get it for Philippines.
No, I think they need to change this break up.
There you go.
Similar
Let's
break,
see.
maybe just get that bit more pace going.
You can go through here, huh? Barely goes, right? Yeah. So
This doesn't look a bad layout at all, does it,
I'm
Jeremy?
gonna go in between the two and one.
No, it's really about getting those first two down. That really opens up the table. The two's probably the most congested ball out of all of them. And he's a little straight on the one. So John may have to shoot. The main thing, though, is don't go crazy here. Don't try and do too much, getting your partner a lot closer. Like here, don't get on top of this ball trying to get just that much better for a straight shooting John Morra.
Well, John's left-handed, so why don't he play the first shot and then the right-handed player was playing this shot on the right-hand side of the table? Because he's been fortunate, really, because now he can reach it. If he'd have played the cue ball in that kind of spot, it might have been a little stretchy, but never mind. It's a thin two. He's overdone it. And as you know, these balls have not been dropping, and rightly so, because he missed that. He fired it into the rail, and that should never go.
And again, I just kind of disagree with trying to get these great players so close to the work on that first shot. He could have handled being by the head string shooting the two, and now the opening that the Philippines may have needed to get back in this match.
Yeah, and it's an opening that's been created off a real poor mistake, because...
Oh, look at this. Look at this.
Wow.
This is talk about really cutting your opponent down, meaning chopped him off at the knees a little bit there, Carl. It's going to be really hard to move the cue ball into position now.
Yeah, I don't know if Carlo feels like it bounced a little harder than he expected, but it's turning into a big rack list now. More so for the Philippines, of course.
And he doesn't have a great route here being on the rail. He can't really manipulate the cue ball quite as much. He can cue it with a little bit of left English, but you're not going to go extreme left here. And that's what I mean is the six. Oh.
I think he did play below the six, so I think it's a great shot, to be fair. I know he just flicked the six, but I think...
No, I think I'm glad it didn't slow him down, because pocketing that ball on the side with that much speed coming off the cushion with the cue ball, that wasn't easy. Watch out, 8-ball.
I'll tell you what, wonderful shot there from Carlo. You could see with the pace he played it, he had to give it a bit, and hit it as good as you could have.
And he really had to trust the movement of the cue ball. I think he knew, just as we watched, that the cue ball was only going to narrowly get by the 8, which is how he had to play it. And now a fairly routine 7, 8, 9 for Team Philippines to cut this deficit to 2 games.
Yeah, and it's an important rack, not just for the scoreline, but for the confidence of Philippines. And obviously it was a big mistake by Canada, so... That simple 9-ball is Philippines, another rack. They trail this match 4-2.
Okay, they made the corner ball there, Carl, and the only ball that came down table with the cue ball is fortunately the 2, but I think they're dead straight in from them laughing about it.
Well, John's just pointed with his cue, so he feels like he can possibly get him down there. And I've noticed he's swapped over to his right, Jeremy, so I This is purely because he needs a lot of power and he probably still doesn't possess that playing left. You're not really going to get there, are you? That's the problem. Cue ball's close to serve. I think he's going to hit the point.
Yeah, but really kind of in a dead position behind the 5.
I think he's missed a trick there, John, to be honest, because on these tables you're never going to get there, and the 3 actually passes the 9. So couldn't he just topped it over towards top right and pocket and leave Alex a thin one into this corner?
Yeah, I think so, and I think a lot of the guys should look for more of those shots rather than coming all the way down and taking a chance of getting in trouble. Can he two-rail kick around the 4 here? I think he can, right? I think so. Key is don't baby it. Go ahead and you might get some separation. You put a little speed. Oh, he played it soft. He's trying to use the 5. Or is this going to get back up on the 3? So pretty fortunate.
Very fortunate there.
And you can see Alex, that was plan B. So he's going to bank the 3 down table and try and guide the cue ball behind the pink 4. Wants to make sure he gets the 3 all the way to the end rail, though, because it's not easy just without any kind of cushion to rely on or some type of kill spin and the 4 being out so far away from the rail. There's no guarantee on the snooker, so you definitely want to get the 3 down table. And I'll tell you, Jeffrey has played some really, really nice safeties today and some really key positions.
Wait 1 second.
We don't have much time.
We have to change. Oh,
No, we don't.
sorry.
That was a good hit.
Yes, it was, and it's going to leave a difficult shot again for the Philippines. Another one of those cross-side banks that we've seen many made throughout the tournament.
Yeah, rule number 1 there for Canada. Make sure you hit your ball and hope it's your day. And it has gone safe, so Biado's missed a couple of banks.
Yeah, those were both cross-corner banks, so we'll see if the side pocket is a little more pleasing to Carl.
I love it.
Great shot there from Biado, the former world 9-ball champion. But De Luna's under a bit of pressure with this shot. He knows it's key shot, it's long. Can't get his hand on the slate. It's always nice when you can get your hand on the slate. Just a little stop shot.
It's the type you can bobble, though.
Well, it wasn't straight, and he fired it, didn't he? Look at the body movement after he hit the cue ball.
And you'll see there's plenty of work still with these 4 remaining. 6 on one side rail, the 8 on the other side rail, and the 9 down here on the bottom rails. So for only 4 balls left, definitely some work for this Filipino team.
And you don't want to be straight. That is perfect. You couldn't put that better with your hand. And again, that's pretty good, isn't it? That's not too bad.
No, maybe 2 inches from ideal. And you kind of feel like Canada, they had a chance in the last game to get up 5-1, and they had an opening shot here in game number 7 to also extend that lead. And now I've let a couple slip away, Carl.
Yeah, and it has to be said, it's a lovely finish, that, really. Back against the wall, and now just 1 behind. Philippines coming on strong now. 1 ball disappeared straight in the side. 3 balls helped him there a little bit, hasn't it, Jeremy? Because if that falls,
Yeah, What interesting shot here. It's a thin cut, but with the 3 over the side pocket, you'll entertain this cut shot a little more because position should be somewhat automatic. We saw one last night by Jason Shaw that was similar. Cut the 2 in and carried into 1 row into the 5. Eerily similar, actually, with the 5 ball being there now again. I like him shooting at this myself. Some of these great players, I like watching them make great shots.
Yeah, if that 3 ball fell in the side, it might have a different play on this, but he's definitely going to shoot. And he played it just like Jason Shaw did. Perfect.
Yeah, really nice. And seems like a little alarm clock has gone off right here for Team Philippines. A little swagger in that step, and we know Jeffrey DeLuna has always got a little swagger in this step, and even Carlo looks a little better after cutting that 2 in.
Yeah, the Philippines can smell blood here. Just a little wobble from Team Canada. We're not even halfway past this match.
He hit quite a bit of that, Carl. Certainly not wanting to get straight in. Normally you would play with an angle and come across to the other side of the table for the 8.
Yeah, now we're going to get to see the effortless cue power of DeLuna. He'll really get this drawing back without really hitting it.
Yeah, but the problem you face here is you have to have a lot of concern with the speed of the cue ball, because landing somewhat straight in or straight in on the 8 can pose a problem getting to the 9.
Yeah, and can he get it off the rail? So is he straight? He's definitely on the rail.
Yeah, that's the problem with Carlo's shot coming across the table and getting straight in on the 7. Now the rail's a big problem and not much angle on the 8. So we may be seeing, if he knocks the 8 in, maybe seeing DeLuna shoot the 9 from some distance.
Well, look how he's cueing down. He's going to stun this ball through with a bit of right spin.
Wow, how much did he get out of that?
How did he hit that? What a shot. Jeffrey taps fist because he knows Carlo's played a worldy pool shot there. But kind of his own fault, wasn't it, from that previous positional shot? It's tied at 4-4.
Welcome back to the World Cup of Pool, where the Philippines have won 3 racks on the bounce to level this quarter-final at 4 apiece, who will make it through to a semi-final showdown with the Netherlands. The nerves appeared to be getting to Canada as the Philippines hit the front for the first time in the match, needing just 4 racks to win the quarter-final matchup. Could the Philippines make it 5 racks on the spin, or could Canada regain their early match form? Commentary from Jeremy Jones and Carl Boys.
And they've made a ball, so as you can see, 2 ball doesn't go, so you would think there's going to be a simple snooker.
Yeah, he wanted to get up close to that 2 ball to make this safety as easy as possible. And I think it's still okay. He's just got to think is actually really nice. He's just got to check the cue ball up with a little bit of English to get on top of the 5 and send the 2 down to this bottom rail. You don't want to leave a cross corner kick an easy one. So again, this is like a shot in the match earlier. Don't try to do too much. He's trying to send the 2 the opposite rail. He's just worried a little bit. Oh, okay. Wow. And I didn't understand that, Carl, at all. What was wrong with just knocking the 2 softly and checking it up with a little English and putting the cue ball kind of where it's at now?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Go for it.
That is very attacking.
Well, I think he thought he could 3-rail bank it and try and make it in the corner and hold a safety as well with position. But what's the point? There's no reason to get in a hurry.
Yeah, not only that, he must know Canada have been struggling the last 2 or 3 racks, so just lay the simple hook and let them keep struggling. This is just going to fire opponents up.
That's right. Giving them an opportunity from a position that when they were in the chair, I guarantee you Canada didn't feel like they were going to get this look. And if that tells you anything about how Alex is feeling, he was down on the ball and he decided to pass the shot to his partner.
Yeah, that puts a little bit of pressure on your partner. What a shot. Good decision, though.
Wait for the bank. Yep.
So does he need to play a 5-6 combination here, or can he get on the 5 in the side, or is it even worth trying to get on the 5 in the side?
Well, he could have done with John playing that one.
And it's just a little bit again that when Alex struggles, he's got a little bit of a short, quick stroke fundamental anyways. And when it gets a little too quick, a little too short, he has a little trouble with the square of the cue ball. And applying all that inside English, it got to him there.
Attention, please.
And look at that, 8 missed pots in only 9 games by Team Canada. And hate to say it again, but it's been the majority. The Lion, Alex Pagulayan, who struggled here in our second quarterfinal.
So he really got into that cue ball, which is fine, and big mistake for Alex. And I just looked over, John put his hand up and they give it a little bit of fist pumps.
Well, that's what a lead, an early lead will help as far as they were up 4-1, now looking to lose 5 in a row and with some opportunity, but they have to regroup because they're only down 2 games.
Yeah, you're right. There's no point in, you know, not that they're going to give up anyway, of course they're not, but just regroup and keep fighting away. But the Filipinos, they know how to kill off opponents.
Oh my,
Double shot.
better hope that hangs or goes.
Trick shots from Jeffrey DeLuna here in the quarterfinals. Why make 1 when you can make 2? I'll tell you what, Jeremy, Canada are making that 1 in that top pocket a lot.
And these didn't open up very well though, and the cue ball again back on the end rail. Last time the 2 came back with it and it was okay, but here kind of a delicate shot coming from all the way down table. I don't think they can afford to roll out though. I think they need to take a chance at playing some type of safety. Can they edge the 2 and go to the rail and maybe use the 4 and 8 as a snooker, something like that? Pretty tough.
Push. Philippines, your option.
So Canada play the push out. Philippines can play or pass.
Could shoot the 2 into the 8 and just stop his ball there and let the 2 come off the 8 and go across corner towards the 3. I think the 8 will clear and be okay. Now he could hit the 2 into the 8 fully and try and drop the cue ball below the 4 and 6. Yeah, that's the shot I was talking about initially. Kind of a one-pocket shot, just playing a little cannon off the 8.
Yeah, I mean, you would think Alex would know that they would spot that type of shot, but this is more than kickable, of course.
Well, I would say he's a little favorite to make this. Not much, but a little bit. Probably 60% of the time, something like that. And of course he didn't make it, but just one of the matches. Kind of darned if you do, darned if you don't kind of thing for Alex so far. But again, I agree with the rollout assessment there, Carl, that you have to roll out very difficult at this level. You can't be something, that was a little bit of a tricky shot, but very obvious to this caliber of players. It just seems a little bit of one game after another slipping away from Team Canada and growing so ever closer to that finish line for the Filipinos.
Yeah, it's a complete change in contrast. Philippines looked under it and as if they weren't really with it, and Canada looked good, and then complete role reversal.
And it wasn't just one mistake. Sometimes it's that one mistake that really wakes a team up, but it seems like it took a few to get the Philippines blood going and flowing by Team Canada. So if they go on to lose, they're going to be upset about this, that they have definitely had their chances after a 4-1 lead.
One good thing for Canada, it's now a race to 9.
True that, Carl. And one bad thing is, though, that the Philippines have kind of cleaned up the break the last couple times it was their turn. And that'll be the case here at 7-4 here shortly. Philippines will be breaking, trying to get on the hill.
Welcome back. The Philippines need just 2 racks for a showdown with the Netherlands in the semi-final after 6 consecutive legs against Canada. Is there any way back into this for the North Americans? We rejoin the action in rack 12 with Canada's John Morra at the table. Commentary comes from Carl Boyes and Jeremy Jones.
Okay, he wants that to get over to really eliminate the jump shot, and he's done real well. And John has played solid, huh?
Yeah, he's looked really good. All them little touch shots and everything, he's played real good. And of course, they're still in this match. You always want to try and keep your opponent off the hill. Oh, look how pure he is. They're so full. Needs a bit of luck, though. He's going to get it. He can easily hit this though, could even pot it.
Yeah, but a real solid hit on the 2-ball, just as Carl talked about there. Holding the cue ball up behind the 3-8. It's got a real makeable one. Okay, is it? Sometimes you can't get a shot for what seems like a month, and now it opens up. Now, is he too thin to draw into the 9?
Well, he's actually looked.
Yeah, but don't catch the top of the 9 here, Carl, right?
Yeah, I think if he wants to pot the 9, you'd have to play this a bit pacey, so there's no real value in that. Is they just soft stun into the 9 and leave Carlo the long 3. Well, what do we know? It was close, wasn't it? He hit it good though, didn't he? He's one of them though, like you said, Jeffrey. He gets a lot out the cue ball, doesn't he? In fact, that was more angled than.
Well, first things first, he made sure he held position on the 3 for Carl. Excuse me, Carlo.
I wish it were me. Big mistake there. Carl wouldn't have done that, Jeremy.
Well, this is the type of miss that can really wake Team Canada or any of these teams up, trailing 7-4.
Yeah, it's like kind of match ball, isn't it? That, do you know what I mean? Even though it's not match ball, you just feel like.
Oh, and John, I think he thought he wasn't going to catch the 9 at all.
Well, the problem with this shot is it's brutal for starters, and second, Alex has not quite been at the races, and this is not an easy pot. This isn't an easy pot if you're Jason Shaw.
Yeah, no safety involved here, I don't believe at all. So he'll just try and knock this in with a little follow.
That's a nice shot. 9 ball's
Watch
close,
out
but the cue ball.
Oh my!
Oh, what a horrendous roll that is, and that shot there. Great pot. He knew cue ball was going into the 9, and look at this simple combo to get the Philippines on the hill. Wow.
Yeah, and that after a struggling Alex Pagulayan, he's asking, what do I got to do? I finally make one heck of a shot, almost make the 9 and lose the cue ball in the opposite corner.
Yeah, you just couldn't envision that. That is heartache. But one thing with Alex Pagulayan is he can laugh them kind of things off. Real character.
Okay, so certainly a cross-side bank that offers a nice position on a 4 over the opposite side. Can't see him passing up on this one.
That's the Pagulayan we know, but is it too late? Might not be too late in this rack, of course. All Canada can do now is just clear these balls and kind of sit tight and just hope they get a chance, really.
It starts with 1 ball at a time, 1 game at a time, and they put themselves in a deficit along with some fine play by the Philippines to come back in this match, but they put themselves in a deficit to where they just got to hope for the opportunity in the future games.
Yeah, Alex is going to have to put a little bit of something on this cue ball because he wants to draw back a little bit, don't you? work for John, so looks like Canada are going to win their first rack. In the last 8, they were 4-1 down, don't forget. And they've had chances. Where's the cue ball going here? Where is the cue ball going here? Just didn't get through the cue ball, did he?
And it doesn't take much on this slick table. A little flinch and it'll get away from you.
This is a thin one, and Alex is about 4 foot tall.
Yeah, he's a small man.
With big heart, though. And there's the 9 ball, disappears.
There it is. He made the 1. The 2 spinning towards the hole. It's not going to hurt. Spun over a little bit now. So maybe 1. He's got to swing the ball short side here on the 3, maybe a couple rails, maybe 3 rails with a little outside English, like where he's pointing there. I believe that's the best play. He plays with an extension a lot of times anyways. He may have added a little bit more on this shot. But I think he'll try and kind of flick it in with a little outside English coming around that 7. Oh, wow. He hit. Yeah. He missed his mark by a long ways there, Carl.
Yeah, and he's been fortunate, really, because I think that kiss on the 6, I think it's left an easy bank shot.
Yeah, well, if you could just stop your ball, it's real easy, but he's either got to follow it through for a position or draw, but I think he's going to go. I don't think there's going to be any defense here. Key here is don't overhit it and let the cue ball hug. Just kind of medium speed, let it roll out.
And he's missed a few, but he's not missed this one. Key shots are coming up, though, aren't they, generally, because you've got to get on that 8 ball as well.
Yeah, now he could fall on the 5 in a certain position to where they could open the 8-9 while trying to get position on the 6. You don't want to take a chance doing that, but if it lays just really, really nice to where there is no risk,
yeah,
it's okay. Now Jeffrey's lost the line on the cue ball a couple times on some pretty easy shots here in this what might be final game.
Yeah, and he was very, very fortunate to leave this kind of shot there. It could have gone wrong.
He could try to break him out here. He could have tried to break him out there, going much firmer with some inside English, right?
Yeah, I think if he was a bit taller, he might have done. I know what you mean.
Right.
He was just stretching a bit, but certainly the line that path took, it looked like he could have maybe just gone into the 8-9.
And if the 8 didn't go, he certainly would have. But they do have a pocket for the 8, and they have the 7 in a decent position. When you're here, just make sure you stay above the ball. Either side you want to play on the 7, stay above and off the rail. And you can always get shape on that 8. Well, he came on down to, oh no, that's exactly what I was talking about. Just above it, above the 7 and off the rail. And you can always have a 1 rail angle to come for the 8 or a 2 rail angle, as the telestrator is showing you.
Jeffrey got Carlo perfect on that 7, didn't he?
And right back at you as far as getting perfect on the 8.
Yeah, it was just absolutely perfect positional play from Jeffrey there. It made the shot so much easier, and I think it's good night, Team Canada. That's the match. Philippines advance to the semi-finals. In the end, some great shot making. Philippines 9, Canada 5.
So confirmation of our first semi-final where the Philippines will now play the Netherlands after their impressive 9-5 comeback victory against Canada. Join us next time when Greece take on Austria for a spot in the last four. Bye for now.
See the blood, sweat and tears. I've been fighting for years. I've been fighting for years and